issue. Is that really a poll issue this time in Karnataka? Also, wrestling heroes are back on the street. We'll have an exclusive with Vinesh Phogat. She'll tell us why she's hit the street. That's coming up. But first, let's tell you the 9 headlines at 9 tonight. The Karnataka government's move to scrap reservation for Muslims is kept on hold till the election campaign is over. The Supreme Court gets an assurance from the Bombay government. This even as Home Minister Amit Shah says BJP will oppose any religion-based reservation in the country. Supreme Court issues a notice on the wrestlers' plea seeking an FIR against ex-Wrestling Federation boss Brij Bhushan Saran Singh. Identity of the petitioners to be removed. Rahul Gandhi's lawyers file an appeal in the Gujarat High Court seeking a stay on conviction in the criminal defamation case. The Surat court had refused to grant him a stay. Hunt on for Don Atiq's wife Shaista Parveen. Massive raids across Prayagraj. Police suspect she's hiding at Ashraf's in-laws' home. Political fight over release of Don Anand Mohan in Bihar, convicted for murder. BJP says Chief Minister Nitish has surrendered before the mafia. PTR tapes sting the DMK. BJP releases part 2 of the Tamil Nadu Finance Minister's audio tape where he allegedly says that Chief Minister Stalin and family kept a bulk of the money. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates projects worth over 3,200 crores in Kerala, flags off the state's first Vande Bharat Express. Indian Navy ship INS Sumedha docks at Port Sudan for evacuation of Indian nationals. Operation Kaveri in full swing to bring back stranded nationals from the war-torn country. And Joe Biden and his deputy Kamala Harris officially announced that they are in the running for re-election in 2024. But the news that's breaking at this moment, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has approached the Gujarat High Court against the Surat Court's conviction in the 2019 criminal defamation case. The process of filing the appeal is likely to be completed tomorrow morning. The date of hearing will be given once that process is complete. Rahul Gandhi moved the High Court after a court in Surat rejected his request to pause his conviction in a criminal defamation case where he has been sentenced to 2 years. A pause on his conviction will help reinstate him as an MP. He presently is disqualified as the MP from Wayanad. So that's the news that's coming in at this moment, that Rahul Gandhi's lawyers have finally filed an appeal in the Gujarat High Court against the Sessions Court verdict that took place.
Co-presented by Star Health Insurance, the health insurance specialist. Powered by Jaguar. Discover the magic of smart lights.
Meanwhile, a row over Muslim quotas in poll-bound Karnataka has now reached the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court today in a second hearing made it clear that the move to scrap 4% Muslim quota by the Karnataka Bombay government must be put on hold till the 9th of May, till campaigning is over. Home Minister Amit Shah, though, has reiterated that religion-based quota is unconstitutional and that the BJP will scrap any Muslim quotas in any part of the country. Is this really, though, a poll issue in the state? We're going to look at the question of Muslim reservations in a moment, but first take a look at just why politics plays out at election time over reservation.
4% रिजर्वेशन भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने वोट बैंक की लालच में पड़े बगैर ये मुस्लिम रिजर्वेशन को समाप्त कर दिया है.
Muslim reservations bumped up as an election issue.
मुस्लिम रिजर्वेशन समाप्त करने के बाद एसटी, एससी, वोकलिगा और लिंगायत सबके रिजर्वेशन में बढ़ोतरी करने का काम ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने किया.
The Bommai administration's March order to scrap the 4% Muslim quota for slots in educational institutions and government jobs and divide it among the Bokkalika and the Lingayat communities has gained steam on the campaign turf. The leader of opposition in Karnataka, on the other hand, has pledged to restore the Muslim reservation if Congress wrests power in the state.
If you come back, will you bring it back?
No, we will bring it, not only we will bring it back, we will take care of Vokkalikas and Lingayats also.
The BJP insists the Congress support to Muslim reservation will spell disaster for the opposition party in the election fray.
Congress has said they will bring back Muslim reservation quota.
Let them bring, afterwards they will face the consequence when they are now going to lose miserably in this election. Question of doing such things does not arise, they will sit in the opposition party.
Challenged in the Supreme Court, the Karnataka government's scrap Muslim quota order, however, isn't being implemented for now. On Tuesday, the top court directed that the measure to revoke Muslim quota will not be enforced till May 9. This after the state sought time to file its reply. Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, meanwhile, news that's just coming in. Prakash Singh Badal, one of the tallest political figures in this country, several times Chief Minister of Punjab, has just passed away. We'll bring you more details on that in a moment. But first, let's continue our focus on what's been happening in Karnataka when it comes to Muslim reservations. Because as the Karnataka battle gains steam, the question is, how is this Hindu versus Muslim going to play out on the ground? Is this really an issue? That's the question that I raised. I had a conversation with local residents in Hubli, in the marketplace, to find out how they react to issues like hijab, azan, and indeed reservation. Listen in. तुम बीजेपी को वोट देता है या कैंडिडेट को वोट देता है?
मोदी को वोट देते हैं।
मोदी जी को वोट देता है, पर अभी तो इलेक्शन कर्नाटका का है, दिल्ली का नहीं है।
बीजेपी सिर्फ हिंदू मुस्लिम को लड़ाने का काम करती है। जब से बम्बई सरकार बैठी सिर्फ हिंदू मुस्लिम होता है, इतना ही होता है।
हुबली में भी
हुआ, इतना बड़ा दरगाह का रोड था, दरगाह बढ़ाने पे मजबूर हो गए सीएम। इतना क्या था, 4 ट्रक जाती है अभी भी काम नहीं, पढ़ाई ऐसे ही है, काम कुछ भी हुआ नहीं वहाँ, अभी भी जाके देख सकते हैं। सिर्फ हिंदू मुस्लिम, यहाँ पे भाईचारा था। कर्नाटक में हिंदू मुस्लिम मिलके रहते थे, एक बर्तन में 2 लोग खाना खाते थे। वैसे लोगों को तोड़ने का काम बीजेपी करती है। सिर्फ हिंदू मुस्लिम पे वोट मांगती है, दूसरा कुछ काम नहीं।
रोजगार मिल रहा है कि नहीं?
यार कैसे रोजगार मिलेगा? जाओ, कितने नौकरियों पे युवा पड़े हुए हैं। बम्बई सरकार में कितने दंगे हो गए, कभी हिजाब के नाम पे होता है, कोई हलाल पे होता है। इस पे क्या मतलब? जब हिंदुस्तान आजाद मुल्क है, जमहूरी हुकूमत में सभी को अधिकार है अपने अपने तौर से जीने का, सभी को अधिकार है। जो अपने हिसाब से, अपने मजहब के हिसाब से कपड़े पहनेगा, उसी पे अधिकार है।
आपको लगता है सही है कि जगदीश शेट्टर ने छोड़कर बीजेपी छोड़ दिया, कांग्रेस में चले गए, टिकट नहीं मिला इसलिए चले गए?
जगदीश शेट्टर का छोड़ना या ना छोड़ना वो उनके मन की बात थी, क्योंकि वो उनके सरकार का आदमी था। वो उनके पार्टी में क्या हुआ वो उसके ऊपर हम नहीं बोल सकते, वो उनका मामला था, वो छोड़ना था ना छोड़ना था। मगर हमारे हिसाब से लगता है अब जगदीश शेट्टर छोड़े हैं ग्रामीण में, अब कुछ काम बनेगा। क्योंकि अब जब हिंदू मुस्लिम, तो जगदीश शेट्टर साहब की हम बहुत इज्जत करते हैं, कभी भी इस मामले में कभी आगे नहीं आते थे। ये बाकी के लीडर ऐसे थे, सिर्फ हिंदू मुस्लिम को लड़ाने का काम।
तो आप कह रहे हैं हिंदू मुस्लिम बंद करो?
यहाँ पे हिंदुस्तान में हिंदू मुस्लिम सब एक ही थाली में खाने का नाम हिंदुस्तान है। अदब के मंच पर इंसान से इंसान मिलता है, अदब के मंच पर इंसान से इंसान मिलता है। ना कोई हिंदू है, ना मुस्लिम, ना सिख, ईसाई, यही तो मंच है जिसपे हिंदुस्तान मिलता है।
अरे वाह, तुम तो शायर बन गए।
शायर नहीं बनाना पड़ता है,
मैं शायर तो नहीं।
हिंदुस्तान सभी कितने जात वादे हैं, इसी का नाम हिंदुस्तान है। ऐसा देश कहीं नहीं मिलेगा।
चलो बोलो टाइगर।
मोदी जी क्या बोले, हम सबको एक ही तरह से ले जाते हैं। इवन बिटवीन 3 महीना पहला मुस्लिम उन्होंने भी हमारा साथ है, मुस्लिम को भी उन्होंने बोल दिया।
तो कोई भेदभाव नहीं है?
भेदभाव नहीं है कुछ। उनका रूमर जो है ना, रूमर उठा रहे जो है ना, मुस्लिम को मोदी जी क्या बोले, हम बहुत गौरव करेंगे बोले।
ठीक है, क्या है?
देखो 4% रिजर्वेशन कर्नाटक में था, बम्बई सरकार ने उसको भी रिजेक्ट कर दिया। क्यों? मतलब क्या हमारे से क्या दुश्मनी है आपकी? मगर इनकी सरकार ने बिल पास क्यों कर रहे हैं ऐसा?
ओके, अभी नहीं देखो,
हम गए सुप्रीम कोर्ट,
देखो इधर, अभी देखो, अच्छा बॉस देखो, इधर हम हिंदू मुस्लिम लड़ाई नहीं करेगा। So these are the sharp emotive issues. Whether they will actually resonate on the ground is another matter. Reminder that this will be also all part of our elections on my plate coming to you from North Karnataka. That's on Friday at 9 p.m. But let me bring you some of the big issues, though, the big questions that arise out of this. Muslim quota, is it really a poll issue in Karnataka? Religious polarization, is it counterproductive? Should quota policy be reviewed by the government? Is quota being used as a political weapon? These are some of the questions that I want to raise tonight. I'm joined by KV Dhananjay, Advocate Supreme Court and Karnataka High Court, Madhu N. Rao, BJP spokesperson, Syed Nasir Hussain, Congress's spokesperson, and Asang Wankhede is an academic and scholar at the University of Oxford. Tanveer Ahmed Mir is senior criminal lawyer. Let's get all your views on this because clearly this is a polarizing issue on the ground. I want to first bring in Madhu N. Rao, BJP spokesperson. It's your party that has decided to scrap Muslim reservation 4%, give it to Vokaligas and Lingayats. Now you're moving away from community-based quotas, happily giving more reservations to castes. So it seems at the moment that reservations at election time is a political weapon, Mr. Rao.
Good evening, Rajdeep. I think it is not correct to say so. When there was a discussion with regard to the reservation with regard to Vokaligas and Lingayats, of course, any government has to run as per the constitutional norms. So it was found that the 4% quota to the Muslims under the 2B category, it was unconstitutional. So we decided that it should be given to the caste which they deserve. And therefore, we made a decision. It was a conscious decision which was made to remove that 4% quota, which was not to be given to the Muslims, which are under religion-based. Now, therefore,
but you've gone and given it to Vokaligas and Lingayats who already have reservation. So you've used it as a political weapon because these are numerically influential castes. Let's be honest. It's one thing scrapping quotas. You're giving it to other groups.
Rajdeep, under Article 16...
You've now crossed 56%. Karnataka has 56% reservation, which is above what Indira Sawhney said, of 50%.
That includes 4%, which was not to be given to the Muslims. Now, kindly give me some time. Let me tell you this. Now, the fact of the matter remains that the 4% what was given under the 2B was a religion-based, and we were against it, and it has been. Now, let me tell you something. Article 16.4.15.4 of the Constitution specifically says the state has right to make some special provision to the socially and economically backward classes. So be it. Now, the question which arises is this: whether Muslims as a whole community, as a religion, would they come under the category? Would they come under the category for the purpose of 4B? That is the 2B category. Would they be considered as a caste? It is not a caste-based. And let me tell you something. There are occupational categories where the Muslims have been given under the occupational categories under 2A and category 1. So therefore, we have not removed it. We are only on the aspect of 2B where we found that it was a religion-based and it was against the constitutional norms. Therefore, we removed it and given it to 2C and 2D, which we made a new category.
Okay, let me bring in Syed Nasir Hussain. Syed Nasir Hussain, this entire concept of religion-based reservation, it's potentially divisive. You might have heard that conversation I had in Hubli. People don't want this politics. You see, what seems to be happening is that by putting these reservations for religion, it attracts a backlash, which eventually resulted, as in Karnataka, to scrapping of the quota.
Rajdeep, let me be very clear and let the viewers on your television channel know that the Constitution of India says that there can be there can be affirmative action and reservation to backward classes. See, in all the reports of the commissions, one after the other in Karnataka, not only after independence, there are reports of various commissions going down to before independence in Karnataka. All these reports and commissions, including the Backward Classes Commission, have said that entire community, all the Muslims in Karnataka, come under backward classes. They live in a very impoverished conditions. They live in ghettos. So this entire community should be treated as backward classes. So in the backward class also, if there are some Muslims who come above creamy layer, who come beyond the creamy layer, they cannot be they cannot get the benefits of the reservation. That is on the basis of an empirical study, on the basis of research, on the basis of the reports of the commission that this reservation was given. If at all the government wanted to tinker with the present reservation policy, they had to do some sort of a study. There was no study, no research, no report, no commission. And the decision comes just, I think this was one of the last decisions taken by this government just before the code of conduct was announced. For one point is what is the intention? Point number two, is it politically motivated? Point number three, is it only targeting one community and depriving them of the benefits that are there for their children in the colleges and in the educational institution and also in the employment? And they could have also done a study whether this community has actually been benefited or not. These are certain
so
things
your
which need to be
objections
debated
are
in
to the
public.
manner, your objections are that just before an election, to do it in a manner, you see it as the targeting of a community. We'll come to that again in a moment, Mr. Nasir Hussain, because KV Dhananjay, advocate, Karnataka High Court and Supreme Court, was this legally permissible in your view, the original 4% quota for Muslims? We've seen that in other states. When Andhra Pradesh originally had brought this in, it was struck down in the courts.
Well, I think the BJP government, unfortunately, is embarrassing itself in a very big way. This is a law that they came out with great fanfare with. And what did they do in the Supreme Court? They did not even bother to put up a fight. They, in fact, knew that the court would be staying this law. And therefore, the government preempted the stay by saying that they will not give effect to it. Imagine, on the eve of the election, you have a government coming out with a law with great fanfare. And the moment it is questioned before a court, the government senses that there would be a stay. The stay would be there for the simple reason that there's only one constitution for this country. Andhra Pradesh has Muslim quota. It's not as if there's a separate constitution for Andhra Pradesh and a different one for
No, but
Karnataka.
Andhra Pradesh has it within the backward class quota.
This is OBC, by the way, is the quota which Andhra Pradesh too has, Telangana has, Kerala has, and Karnataka has. And by the way, Rajdeep, you said that in 2010, that quota was struck down by the Andhra Pradesh High Court. By the way, that's not the law at this point of time, because that judgment by a 7-judge bench was stayed by the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has referred the matter to a larger bench. A larger bench is there to take a call on it. At this point of time, in this country, OBC for Muslims is permissible, and more than anything else, the moment the Karnataka government, the present Karnataka government tells you that quota based on religion is not permissible, you just have to ask them. How is it that in the OBC you have quota for Christians in Karnataka, you have reservation for Jains, you have Buddhists? Is it the BJP's case that Hindus and Christians are the same, and Hindus and Jains and Hindus and Buddhists are the same? This is a very bogus argument they've come out with, and they've become a laughing stock for several reasons. One of which is that, of course, now in the mind of Muslims, they've become a laughing stock. And look at what happened. They wanted quota to be expanded to the Lingayats and to the Vakaligas. Now, some of who could be infuriated by this, because what's the opposition going to do? The opposition is going to say that, look, they are playing with your, moods and sentiments, because they know very well that it's not possible to remove quota for Muslims. Yet they did that. They go to the Supreme Court. They say they will not, apply it.
You're
so
making
they become a laughing stock.
You made that point,
everybody.
Sir. You're making an interesting point that at the moment you do have quotas for Christians. The BJP didn't touch that. Mr. Rao, you want to respond before I go to Tanveer Ahmed Mir to that?
I think
that y'all have not touched quotas for Christians. There you don't talk of religion-based reservations. Only specifically when it comes to Muslims, who you have not given a single ticket. In a state where Muslims are more than 12% of the population, you haven't given them a single ticket. You call for the quotas, reservations to be removed from the backward classes that exist in Kerala, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh. But you keep it for Christians.
What matters is whether we have given good development to all the people matters. And please do not keep saying in the eye of a color as to whether it should be how many tickets are not been given to X community, Y community. Now, having said so,
no, Mr. Rao, you are not answering my question. When it comes to reservations to Christians, why don't you object to that?
I'll come to that. Let me come to that. I was just listening to my senior friend, Mr. Dhananjay. I think he sounded more of a congressperson than me, than an advocate. Let me tell this. Article 16.4, 15.4, and they talk about backward classes. Haven't we seen there are two commissions which were formed right in 1955 as well as in 1990 I think both the commissions, Kaka Kelkar Commission as well as Mandal Commission, they told caste is a determinant factor for the purpose of determining whether there should be socially economic for the OBC status to must be given. How is it possible that a community as a whole can be given status of a religion can be given a OBC status? Now let me also tell from the Karnataka standpoint of view. I was listening to one of the gentlemen before. He was telling the commissions. Pre-independence, there was a Justice Miller Commission which gave a Muslim reservation. Now, post-independence, what happened? Nagan Gowda Commission came, then Venkat Swamy Commission came, as well as one more commission which came into effect, Havnur Commission. All the three commissions were inconclusive. It never went. It went to Supreme Court. Again, they told, no, you have to do it correctly. That's all. So therefore, everything is inconclusive. And the Congress party, I'm sorry to say, right from time immemorial, they have been doing this appeasement politics. And we are telling that it is not as per the constitutional norms. I have not told this, Rajdeep. Please, I will tell you, your viewers, 26th May 1949, none other than the two Constituent Assembly members, Begum Aizaz Rasool and Tajmul Hussain, they specifically told, we do not need reservation. Muslim do not need reservation. Should we believe them or should we believe the Constitution?
Okay, well,
or should we believe in what
Mr. Rao, there are others on the show. Before you, no, I'll come to you, Nasir. But sir, just a minute. Why are there reservations for Christians then? Why have you not scrapped reservation for Christians?
We now saw that Muslims cannot be given reservation. We will see that. We will answer that. If it is to be seen for the Christians, the government will take a call. As of now, the government has not taken a call. So therefore, to say that why about others? Well, this is what you should ask the Congress party.
No, I am asking you. You're in government. If you say religion-based reservations are unconstitutional, then you should have scrapped reservations for Christians as well.
Rajdeep, this question must be posed to the Congress party. Why were they doing all these things?
Okay, let Nasir Hussain a very quick response. The accusation BJP will make is that they believe that the reservations that were guaranteed for backward castes cannot be extended, they believe, to Muslims. They are arguing this in the court that it is unconstitutional.
See, Rajdeep, the whole argument with the BJP spokesperson is giving in terms of why Christians are not being given, reservation taken away, why Jains reservation is not taken away. I'll just give you an example that, see, this entire politics of BJP is only to polarize. They are polarizing, keeping Muslims in mind, because Muslims are large in number. Had Christians been, say, about 10-12%, they would have scrapped that also and said that this is how they want to polarize, they want to create an enemy, they want to create a evil out of the Muslim community. Say anything for Muslims, we are against them. Amit Shah is not speaking about what his government has done for the past 4 years in Karnataka. He is speaking, humne reservation Musalmanon ka chhin liya, nikal diya. These are his statements in a poll-bound state. He has not uttered what his government has done in the past 4 years. Okay. He has not stated what his government.
I will tell you what we have done.
1 minute, Mr. Rao. 1 minute, Mr. Rao. No, Mr. Rao, no cross talk. Mr. Rao, your voice will be brought down.
They are only interested in polarizing.
Okay, you're saying this is part of polarizing. Let me bring in Tanveer Ahmed Mir. Tanveer Ahmed Mir is a Supreme Court lawyer. Tanveer Ahmed Mir, do you see this as an effort to polarize? Sir, forget the politics for a moment, Tanveer. Purely legally, do you believe that Muslims can be, the reservations, the quota, within the backward classes, if you give backward Muslims reservations, as has been done in several states, it's constitutionally justifiable, permissible? You're on mute. You're on mute, Tanveer. You're on mute.
See, it is 100% constitutionally justifiable. And, speaking especially for Karnataka, for the first time, it was in 1921, even prior to independence, in something called as Justice Miller Commission, when it was identified that the Muslim community in Karnataka indeed is not only economically backward, but it is also socially backward. Then there was another commission called Nagana Gowda Commission in 1961, followed by another commission in 1977, and a legendary justice of the Supreme Court called Lordships O.P. Chinnappa Reddy Commission was there in 1989, followed by Mandal Commission. All these commissions have set up, identified on empirical data, that the Muslim community, especially in Karnataka, is beset with people who are not only economically backward, but are socially backward. So they suffice the constitutional parameters in Articles 14, 15, and 16, lock, stock, and barrel. By no stretch of imagination can the government, on the eve of the election, see no action of the executive can ever be unreasonable, can ever be arbitrary, and because any arbitrary act of the government is antithetical to even Article 14 straight away. This is the reason why in the Supreme Court today, they've thrown in the kitchen sink, they've thrown in the towel, and lordships have said that we are adjourning this matter to 9th of May. Meanwhile, you will not give effect to your own order. The manifestation of this order is only on communal lines. And let me tell you that it is not that the reservation in the nature of Muslim community, by denying a legitimate reservation, which has been recommended, not today, not prior, but for the first time in 1921, what you are actually doing is to give it a communal color and a community color.
Okay, so you're saying the reservation has historical basis and it has constitutional validity, and the action of the Karnataka government you're saying is arbitrary and unreasonable. Let me bring in at this moment Asang Wankhede, who's an academic, a DPhil scholar at Oxford, looking at this issue. Asang, reservations, as we are seeing in Karnataka, is a hot potato because the Bommai government has even given reservations to subcastes, defined them within the Dalit quota. They've given it to scheduled tribes, and they're now giving Muslim reservations, scrapping them and giving them to Vokaligas and Lingayats. It seems that Karnataka and several states now have crossed 50% simply to try and politically take advantage of reservations. Do you see it as purely a political weapon now and not really providing social justice, which it was intended to do?
Absolutely, Rajdeep. In particularly, all the studies done, especially by Professor Andre Patel, Zoya Hassan, and my own work, point out that quotas have always been an election issue. Just few weeks or few months before any crucial elections, be it the union government elections or the respective state elections, there is some form of quota legislation or decision that is made by the government to do appeasement politics. As you rightly said,
but that could also include Muslims. I mean, there will be those who will argue that Muslims getting quota is also appeasement.
Absolutely, one could argue that. But what the recent studies, the political scientists have pointed out, that most of these quotas have been extended to upper castes. And this move, as I see it in particular, does two things. Excludes Muslims on communal lines, and then extend this to the two most politically and economically dominant communities, Vokaligas and Lingayats. If this was really a quota review issue involved, then Vokaligas and Lingayats would be the first of those two communities to be excluded based on empirical parameters. Both the lawyers on our panel today have rightly pointed out that reservations for Muslims is constitutional. And to correct Mr. Madhu Rao, the BJP spokesperson, Indra Sahni's judgment said that caste can be one of the parameters used for OBC reservations, which is based on social and educational backwardness. So he is wrong in saying that reservations in India are only based on caste. No, they are based on social and educational backwardness, and caste can be one of the factors which can be used to extend reservations.
Okay, you know, Madhu Rao, I know that you're in a way outnumbered, so you have every right to speak a little bit more. But the sense that one gets to do it before elections clearly suggests to me that this was done with the clear aim to polarize. You see, you accuse the opposition of appeasement. You in turn do the politics of polarization. I mean, you scrap reservations before the election, then you go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court passes some harsh obiter dicta. What does the Karnataka government say? We won't do anything till the 9th of May. That means you are trying to take political advantage, and at the same time you know your limits before the Supreme Court.
Rajdeep, may I, for the sake of repetition, say that we are only against the religion-based reservation in 2B. Now, let me categorically say there is a category 1 and category 2A, where more than 15 to 20 occupational aspects of the Muslims have been categorized there. And we are the persons who made Pinjara Development Authority. That means more than 23 castes under the occupational aspect of the Muslims. We have made them, we have made the development authority. So to say that you have not made anything of that sort, it is wrong, because we are very much clear in our thought that we are only against religion based. Now let me say this.
Yes, but you've been in power in Karnataka for almost 4 years. You suddenly wake up to this reality a month before the elections.
Rajdeep, if timing is an issue, fair, I do not know what to say about it. We have made our study and done it. Now, one aspect of, I just wanted to clarify, Indira Sahani case, all told that it was categorically told, caste must be taken into consideration and not the economic criterion. So therefore, this is an aspect of socially and educationally backward.
Sir, Vocaligas and Lingats are no longer... Sir, large parts of Vocaligas and Lingats are no longer socially and educationally backward.
State of Madras up to Indira Sahani case, where they specifically and all along have told caste is a dominant matrix. Now, point number one, just give me 15 seconds. The aim of the articles in the Constitution is to elevate inequality arising out of historical injustices. You please tell me, what are the historical injustices in Islam community? One, it cannot create a new hierarchy. Now, what has happened in 2B is created a new hierarchy which was not to be there. Therefore, entire religion cannot be given a SCBC status. That is what we are harping on. Therefore, to say significant part of Karnataka, I'll tell you something.
No, let Mr. Dhananjay respond. Madhu, you have made a point. Let Dhananjay respond. Dhananjay, can you give blanket to all Muslims? Does it have to be very carefully categorized? Was it originally by the government of Karnataka when they gave this 4%? There will be an economic criteria to look at which Muslim gets the benefits. It cannot be all Muslims.
Well, the BJP spokesperson all the while was just making legal arguments. He certainly can't be better than the Solicitor General of India, who appeared for the government of Karnataka. The Solicitor General of India did not have any worthwhile argument to make before the Supreme Court. Now, the BJP spokesperson is trying to up the Solicitor General, and all that he's being saying are nothing but legal arguments. And if there was any substance in any of this, the Supreme Court would have.
Has it been
the
decided?
Supreme Court would have stated.
You can also go and argue the case. Has it been decided? It has not been decided.
Why did the Supreme Court stay it? Effectively, why did the Karnataka government
is there
say
any law which says that? Is there any, as of now, is there any law by Supreme Court of India? It is not there. You also argue, we will also argue. Let us see whose case wins there.
Okay,
so the Supreme Court. You have a point, we do have a point to make it there.
But the Supreme Court, by the way,
yes.
Rajdeep, the Supreme Court, in fact, knew that a lot of states have reservation under the OBC for other minorities. And by the way, the Indira Sahani judgment, you just have to go through the Indira Sahani judgment. It's freely available on the web. Indira Sahani judgment categorically says that OBC reservation is available for religion other than Hindu. So nobody in their right mind would be saying that Muslims can't be included under the OBC. Muslims can be included under the OBC. It's only one constitution.
Okay. Can I just bring in Tanveer Ahmed Mir? Should the court specify, use this opportunity? Just a minute. Should the court possibly specify to use this opportunity to look specifically at income levels? That even within the Muslims, it cannot be a blanket 4% reservation. For Muslims, the criteria will have to be defined better.
Yes, Rajdeep, there is one very important point which I want to make here. You see, latest of all the commissions in line is Honorable Justice Rajendra Satyan Committee in 2005 and 2006. Now, that is a huge empirical study. And that study and that commission clearly makes out that within the Muslim community, there are many people who are socially, economically, educationally backward, and therefore can fit into the 27% regime of Mandal Commission, which has been upheld.
But it can't be blanket for all Muslims. It will have to be on income grounds.
That is where the creamy layer concept comes into play. That is why every government, any government, attached and having its soul in democratic and constitutional values has to pass any order not in a view of communal overtones 2 nights before the election or 2 weeks before election, but only on a hard study, which is then debated in the assembly. See, if the BJP government wanted to take such an action, they could have ordered a commission to do another study of the Muslim community in Karnataka, post such a committee recommendations, and then tabled it for a debate in the assembly, and then have passed an order.
Okay.
The very fact that you are passing the order, 15 days before the election comes into play, itself shows that the government has passed an order only on the basis of arbitrariness.
Okay, you made that point, Tanveer, earlier. You believe it's arbitrary and unreasonable. We will wait and see how the Supreme Court responds. I've run out of time because remember, there is a big breaking news that's coming in. Just also a reminder that we will have elections on my plate from Karnataka this Friday at 9 p.m. Appreciate all my guests joining us. That's Friday at 9 p.m. with elections on my plate. Let's move on though to the breaking news that we are getting at this moment. Shiromani Akali Dal Patriarch Prakash Singh Badal has passed away at the age of 95 a short while ago. Mr. Badal had been admitted to the intensive care unit of a private hospital in Mohali following complaints of breathing difficulties on the 21st of April. Prakash Singh Badal had created many records in the past, from being the youngest Sarpanch when he got elected from Badal village in 1952, became the youngest Chief Minister of Punjab in 1972 and also the oldest in 2012. He has been the CM of the state for a record 5 times. He was also a member of the Lok Sabha and served once as Union Agriculture Minister as well. So the grand old man of Indian politics has passed away. I'm joined by Manjeet Sehgal joining me at this moment. Manjeet, clearly Prakash Singh Badal seen as one of the heavyweights of Indian politics, someone the most durable figures in Indian politics. Just give us what Prakash Singh Badal meant to Punjab over these years.
Well, Rajdeep, Prakash Singh Badal was a senior Akali Dal leader. He contested his last election in 2022. However, that was unsuccessful. He was a 5-time chief minister. He also remained a union minister. As you said, Prakash Singh Badal was suffering with bronchial asthma, and besides gastroenteritis, he was admitted to a private hospital in Mohali, where he breathed his last today. So his cremation will take place at the Badal village, and the family and other dignitaries, including the Prime Minister, had also called his family member. He also spoke to Prakash Singh Badal. But now his death has come as a big loss and created a void in the Punjab's politics, as Badal was one of the most senior politicians who was one of the founding members of the Shiromani Akali Dal.
I'm also joined at this moment by Bhupinder Singh Hooda, former Haryana Chief Minister, who of course was Chief Minister when Prakash Singh Badal was Chief Minister in Punjab, neighbouring states. Bhupinder ji, how will you remember Prakash Singh Badal?
You see, he had a very close relation with my family. He had a very close relation with him. My father and Prakash, they were very good friends. Even they were neighbor in Uttarakhand. Now, they also land there in Bajpur, and we also land. Otherwise, also he contested from Congress ticket. And after that, Akali, he was one of the founder member of the Shiromani Akali Dal, and most respected man. One era is over. Punjab politics.
Era, I think that's very appropriate, Mr. Hooda, to call it the end of an era. Someone who towered over Punjab politics for more than 6 decades, saw plenty of ups and downs, but was a durable figure and was seen as a firm nationalist above all else. Someone who strove for the integration at a tough time when the Khalistan movement was there. Prakash Singh Badal over the years stood tall and will be remembered very, very fondly. We'll have many more tributes coming in, but I appreciate, Mr. Hooda, you joining us there briefly on Prakash Singh Badal. Prakash Singh Badal, remember, born in 1927, passing away there at the age of 95, one of the stalwarts of Indian politics. Okay, let's turn to another of our top stories. Sporting heroes hitting the streets once again. 7 women wrestlers, including Olympian winners, moving the top court, alleging non-registration of an FIR on their sexual harassment charges against the Wrestling Federation of India chief Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. Now, the Supreme Court has stepped in and said, send notices to find out why exactly the government has not acted in this case. Ace wrestler Bajrang Punia, meanwhile, in a sensational claim, said that the wrestlers were being forced to withdraw their police complaint. The Congress has also jumped into the row, questioning authorities on their inaction. Take a look. India's top wrestlers who brought glory to the country are once again back on the road. The wrestlers are protesting as the Delhi police are yet to file an FIR against the Wrestling Federation of India chief Brij Bhushan Saran Singh, even after complaints of sexual harassment were filed by several women wrestlers. The wrestlers have now approached the Supreme Court seeking a fair probe into the harassment complaint against Brij Bhushan Saran Singh.
कमेटी के सामने 14 to 15 लड़कियों ने बयान दिए हैं और कमेटी बिल्कुल मना कर है कि हमारे सामने कोई नहीं आया है, तो हमने वीडियोग्राफी करवाई है, उसमें वो पूरे देश के सामने चलवा दे कि कितनी लड़कियों ने एंट्री की है रूम में। और रही बात लड़कियों के सामने आने की, देखिए इतना आसान नहीं होता है सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट के खिलाफ में आके पूरे देश के सामने बोलना कि हाँ हुआ है, लेकिन फिर भी हिम्मत करके साथ लड़कियों ने कंप्लेंट्स दी है। FIR तो रजिस्टर कीजिए, आप FIR रजिस्टर ही नहीं कर रहे हैं तो किस चीज का न्याय की हम विश्वास करें।
Making a sensational claim, Tokyo Olympic bronze medalist Bajrang Punia said that the wrestlers are being offered money to remain silent.
अगर हमें जरूरत पड़ी तो जो लोग गए हैं घर पे उनके पैसे लेके गए हैं, दबाव बनाने के लिए गए हैं, अगर जरूरत पड़ी, अगर वो अपनी हरकतों से बाज नहीं आए तो हम उनके नाम मीडिया के आगे भी लेंगे।
Brij Bhushan Saran Singh, facing charges of sexual harassment, evaded questions on the ongoing dangal.
जब मामला सुप्रीम कोर्ट में है तो खिलाड़ियों के आरोप में कोई दम है? सुप्रीम कोर्ट में मामला है, अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट तय करेगा।
Wading into the controversy, the Congress party has slammed the government for failing India's national heroes.
जब वो पहली दफा आए उसके बाद उनको दोबारा आनी चाहिए था, जब ही न्याय मिलना चाहिए था। जब इंतजार देख के न्याय नहीं मिला, यही मेरा सवाल है और ये बड़ा गंभीर मामला है।
Changing tack this time, the wrestlers have welcomed any political support for their protests. In January, the protesters had requested CPM leader Brinda Karat to leave the stage as it was a protest by the athletes. The athletes had then called off their protests after an assurance from the sports ministry that a panel was being formed to look into their complaints. The wrestlers claim no action has been taken yet against the WFI chief. With Amit Bharadwaj in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today. And we spoke earlier today to Vinesh Phogat, one of the star wrestlers who's a center figure in these protests. Vinesh ji, आपने ये protest 3 महीने के बाद resume किया है. After 3 months against the World Wrestling Federation Chief Brij Bhushan Saran Singh, आपने कहा है कि उन्होंने महिला wrestlers के साथ sexual harassment की है. आप फिर से रोड पर निकल आई है. क्या वजह है कि आप दोबारा प्रोटेस्ट कर रही हैं मैम?
देखिए जी, 3 महीने पहले जब हम आए थे तो एक ही मांग के साथ में थे कि जो हमारे साथ में गलत हुआ है उसके खिलाफ में जो न्याय होना चाहिए वो उसके विरोध में हम आए थे। लेकिन 3 दिन तक हमारी मीटिंग चलती रही खेल मंत्रालय के साथ में, तब उन्होंने कमेटी बनाने का फैसला किया, मैं एग्री हो गई। लेकिन जब उन्होंने कमेटी बनाई थी तब ये बात बोली थी कि कमेटी में जो भी फाइंडिंग होगी उसके अकॉर्डिंग हम FIR दर्ज करेंगे। हम इसी विश्वास में चले गए कि चलो ठीक है, क्योंकि कोर्ट का रास्ता बहुत लंबा हो जाता है और हम नहीं चाहते थे खिलाड़ी की कोर्ट के थ्रू जाएं, केस करें। तो अगर अच्छे से सोल्व हो जाता है और अगर हमारा मान सम्मान, आत्म सम्मान अगर बच जाता है तो इससे अच्छी बात क्या है। आने वाले बच्चों का साथ में कोई हरासमेंट नहीं होगा। लेकिन 3 महीने से ज़्यादा वेट कर लिया हमने और कोई भी, ना तो कमेटी में कोई मेंबर कोई कुछ बता रहा था, ना ही खेल मंत्रालय हमारा फ़ोन उठा रहा था, कोई भी इंसान रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेने को रेडी नहीं था। इसलिए दोबारा से मतलब ये हो गया कि और जहाँ पे भी जाने लगे ना कि आप झूठे हो, आप झूठ बोल रहे हो, इतनी बड़ी बात कोई भी लड़की और देश के खिलाड़ी हैं जी, हम आत्म सम्मान कमाया हमने, हमेशा इज्जत के साथ खेले हैं। इस दाग के साथ में हम हमारी कुश्ती नहीं कर सकते और ना हम जिंदगी भर मतलब जिंदा भी नहीं रह सकते हम इस दाग के साथ में कि हमने झूठ बोला।
विनय जी, आपने सुप्रीम कोर्ट भी मूव किया था दिल्ली पुलिस के खिलाफ। किस तरह से आप पुलिस का रोल देखती है? क्या आपको लगता है पुलिस FIR क्यों नहीं फाइल कर रही है? क्या वजह है? क्या डर है ब्रिज भूषण शरण सिंह का?
देखिए, दिल्ली पुलिस जब स्टार्टिंग से हमने कंप्लेंट्स दी हैं तभी से वो लोग प्रेशर में आ गए हैं। शायद पता नहीं किस चीज़ का प्रेशर है, पॉलिटिकल है, पैसे का प्रेशर है। बट दिल्ली पुलिस ने ना तो हमारी 3 दिन हो गया, आज चौथा दिन है, ना तो कंप्लेंट रजिस्टर कर रहे हैं, हमारी कंप्लेंट्स ले लिए लेकिन एफआईआर रजिस्टर करने को रेडी नहीं है। एक लड़की पॉक्सो है, उसमें 7 लड़कियां हैं। 7 लड़कियां कोई आसान बात नहीं होती, कोई केस करी है तो तभी उनको अरेस्ट करना चाहिए था, लेकिन दिल्ली पुलिस बिना एफआईआर दर्ज किए हमारे नाम रिवील करी है लड़कियों के। ब्रजभूषण को नाम पता लग गया है, 2-3 लड़कियों की फैमिली के पास में, लड़की के पास में फ़ोन करके धमकियाँ मिल रही हैं जान से मारने की। अगर जान से मारने की धमकियों से नहीं डर रहे हैं तो पैसे दे के तोड़ने की कोशिश की जा रही है। और मैं बता दूं आपके माध्यम से कि 2 इंसान हैं जो ये काम कर रहे हैं। अभी हरियाणा में जनरल सेक्रेटरी हैं, राकेश करके उनका नाम है, वो कोशिश कर रहे हैं, फ़ोन कॉल कर रहे हैं, हर तरीके से ब्रजभूषण का आदेश आया उनको कि हर तरीके से, किसी भी तरीके से उनको सेटल किया जाए। दूसरा एक इंसान है द्रोणाचार्य अवॉर्डी है, महावीर बिश्नोई। वैसे तो उन्होंने जो द्रोणाचार्य लिया है वो बहुत फेक लेवल पे लिया है, लेकिन उसको छोड़ो, वो एक बहुत ज़्यादा कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि कैसे लड़कियों को मैनिपुलेट करके, डरा के, धमका के वो किया जाए। वो मेरे को भी धमकी देते थे टोक्यो के बाद में, वो मेरे हस्बैंड को भी धमकी देते थे कि आपको जान से मरवा देंगे, आपके साथ में ये हो जाएगा, आपके साथ में वो हो जाएगा।
यानी आप कहीं ना कहीं कह रही है हमसे कि ब्रिजभूषण शरण सिंह के लोग रेसलर्स को डरा धमका रहे हैं, तो क्या कहीं ना कोई उनको क्यों बचा रहा है? ड्यू फियर सरकार बचा रही है क्योंकि वो रूलिंग पार्टी बीजेपी के एमपी हैं? ब्रिजभूषण सिंह को कोई पावरफुल लोग प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हैं, क्या ये आपका इल्जाम है?
देखिए 6 बार के एमपी है, कोई आसान बात नहीं है 6 बार के एमपी को गिरफ्तार करना, उनके खिलाफ में कुछ एक्शन लेना। बिल्कुल पॉलिटिकल प्रेशर है, पुलिस के ऊपर भी है और लोगों पे भी बहुत ज़्यादा प्रेशर है। मीडिया पे भी काफ़ी प्रेशर बनाने की कोशिश की जा रही है कि ये सब ना कवर करो, ये सब ना दिखाओ। और पैसे की भी पावर शायद वो यूज़ कर रहे हैं कि पैसा खिला के सबके मुंह बंद करवा दिए जाएं, लेकिन वो सच्चाई है ना, सच्चाई किसी चीज़ से खरीदी नहीं जा सकती।
विनेश जी, मैं आपसे मिला था 2-3 महीने पहले जब आपने शुरू किया था ये प्रोटेस्ट, तब आपने मुझसे कहा था यू विल नॉट अलाउ एनी पॉलिटिशियन टू कम ऑन द प्लेटफॉर्म, कोई नेता नहीं आ सकता आपके प्रोटेस्ट में। बट इस बार पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज आ रही हैं, कांग्रेस वगैरह सब आपको सपोर्ट कर रही है, और बजरंग पुनिया ने कहा है वी वेलकम ऑल पार्टीज वेदर इट इज बीजेपी, कांग्रेस, आप और एनी पार्टी, हम किसी पार्टी से जुड़े हुए नहीं है। क्या वजह है कि अब आप पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज का भी सपोर्ट लेना चाहती हैं?
देखिए पहले हमें ये था कि जैसे पहली बात तो हम एथलीट, हमें ये नहीं पता था कि हम ये सुनते थे कि अगर है ना कोई भी कुछ भी अगर आवाज़ उठाओ ना तो पॉलिटिक्स को दूर रखो, पॉलिटिक्स कर जाते हैं लोग। तो हमें ये डर था कि कहीं हमारे साथ में कोई गेम ना खेल जाए, तो हमने किसी को भी आने नहीं दिया कि प्लीज़ हमारा समर्थन कर दो ऐसे ही दूर से, लेकिन आना मत, क्योंकि कहीं हमें था कि कहीं हमारे साथ में गेम ना हो जाए। कोई कुछ आया ही नहीं, उसके बाद भी हमारे साथ गेम हो गया, उसके बाद भी हमारे साथ पॉलिटिक्स कर गए, तो हम दूसरी पार्टी को क्या वो दे के उन्होंने हमारे साथ गलत कर दिया। हम तो दूसरी लोगों पर विश्वास कर सकते हैं कि वो हमारा समर्थन करे, क्या पता हमें तभी न्याय मिले। और इसीलिए हमने कि कोई भी आए, और सिर्फ पार्टी का नहीं है यहाँ पे बात, हमने पूरे देश से जितने भी हमारे किसान संगठन हैं, क्योंकि हम किसानों के बेटे हैं, अगर उनके बेटा बेटी दुखी हैं तो वो कैसे घर में रह सकते हैं। तो लोगों का समर्थन इतना आ रहा है कि हम कैसे मना करें, हमारा भी आत्मसम्मान है तो उनका भी आत्मसम्मान उतना ही जरूरी है, तो हम उन सब के आत्मसम्मान की लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं।
That was Vinesh Phogat speaking to us earlier in the day, making it very clear that they will continue to fight against Brijbhushan Saran Singh. The big question, of course, what is this magic that Brijbhushan Saran Singh has? Someone who was once accused, remember, of shielding or providing sanctuary to aides of Dawood Ibrahim in the 1990s. Then he was arrested under TADA. Now he's being accused of sexual harassment. Who is protecting Brijbhushan Saran Singh? Is a question we'll keep asking. Let's take a break. On the other side, our Good News Today story. You're watching the News Today. News without the noise.
मैं हूँ अलकनंदा दास।
Yet there's been a lot of talk about the money going to China because of the gap in valuations, reopening of China this year, etc. But how do you see these two? Because you track both carefully. But between China and India, what will suck in most of the emerging market capital which is coming back?
You must remember, China has a number of advantages at this stage. As you know, China underperformed India dramatically in the last few years, and now it's beginning to turn. That's number one. Number two, the Chinese market is very large and very liquid. If you compare the market capitalization of China versus India, you'll see that there's a huge difference So for the large institutional investors, they really don't have much choice but to go to China. So if they have a basket of emerging markets funds, they might put 10% in India and maybe 40% in China. So you can see that China is still very attractive from that point of view and will continue to be so.
Is oil a factor at all, Mark? Because, we have this issue of crude imports and crude prices have started moving up once again. I mean, do you have a view that crude climbs above $100 once again? And if it does, where does that leave this India versus China question?
Well, the good news for India is that they can get cheap crude from Russia as a result of what's happening in Ukraine. So I don't think that's going to have a big impact on India, even if crude does go up. Crude, of course, is not going to go down dramatically, that's for sure, because the demand for crude, the demand for energy generally, as you can see from coal prices, is still very high. But I think India will still be in a good position because of what's happening in Ukraine and the lower supply going to Europe and the higher supply going to places like India and China.
Welcome back. Let's turn to today's good news story. It's one of perseverance and resilience even when life throws you sometimes a curveball. This is the story of a Kathak dancer who continued dancing to her tunes even while fighting for her life against cancer. Here's a report on Alaknanda Das's gritty fight. Take a look.
मैं हूँ अलकनंदा दास गुप्ता, मैं कथक डांसर हूँ, स्टेट आइकन ऑफ इलेक्शन कमीशन नई दिल्ली और ब्रांड एम्बेसडर हूँ स्वच्छ भारत अभियान MCD की। लास्ट अप्रैल 2022 में पता चला कि मेरी ओवरी में लंप है और बाद में पता चला वो कैंसरस है। पर ज़िंदगी नहीं रुकती है, ज़िंदगी चलती रहती है और जो नहीं रुकी मेरी ज़िंदगी में वो है मेरा डांस, कथक नृत्य।
The story of Alaknanda Das is one of courage and endurance. The Kathak dancer from Delhi, who was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, fought back and won the battle. Without losing hope, she says. When she was first told the lump detected could be cancer, she had 2 shows scheduled.
मैंने घर पे भी उतना कुछ नहीं बताया, किसी को नहीं बताया because मेरा प्रोडक्शन आ रहा था महाराष्ट्र, 3 हफ्ते थे, बहुत तैयारियां कर रखी थी। मैंने कहा मैं नहीं कर सकती, तो डॉक्टर्स बहुत परेशान हो गए। उन्होंने कहा कि ये क्या तरीका है, ये कुछ भी हो सकता है, कैंसर भी हो सकता है। मैंने कहा अभी तक तो कुछ पता नहीं चला ना, तो कुछ नहीं होगा।
First came the surgeries and then started a journey that saw Alaknanda bank on her true love, dancing, to help her sail through.
मैंने कहा ये मेरा पैर क्यों नहीं हिल रहा है? कहती ये आपका यहाँ से पेन किलर जो दिया जा रहा है उसकी। मैंने कहा कम करो। कहते तुम बर्दाश्त नहीं कर पाओगी पेन। मैंने कहा आई डोंट केयर, मुझे अपने पैरों में जान चाहिए। I want to feel my legs.
Even before the stitches were removed, Alaknanda was back to dancing.
उस दिन जस्सी जी आए थे वहाँ पे पूजा पे और उन्होंने गाना शुरू किया, छाप तिलक सब नृत से नैना मिलाई के, और वो सूफी मेरे को पागल कर देता है और मैं खड़ी हुई और मैं नाचने लगी।
The chemotherapy that followed did not break her. The doctor's advice to take bed rest did not deter her. She soon started performing on the stage.
तो मैं पूरे ही टाइम जो 6 महीने का मैंने सोचा था कि मेरा डल पीरियड होने वाला, ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ। उल्टा मेरा सेलिब्रेशन ही था, मेरा हर दिन एक सेलिब्रेशन था।
Cancer didn't break Alaknanda's spirits one bit. Today, her story is an inspiration for many cancer patients. With Manish Chaurasia, Bureau Report, India Today.
The message is clear, dance on. Unfortunately, someone will no longer sing for us. He was a remarkable singer because Harry Belafonte, a remarkable singer, trailblazer, fierce civil rights activist, and someone whose songs lit up the world in the 60s and 70s, has passed away at the age of 96. He began his prolific career as a singer who stormed pop charts, then broke racial barriers, ultimately went on to become one of the tallest members of the civil rights movement. He'll be best remembered for his song Jamaican Farewell. We leave you with the images of Harry Belafonte and songs of the great man. Good night, goodbye, namaskar, Shubhratri, Jai Hind, namaskar.
My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town.